Maria Teresa, it seems like the big story tonight is he's not pushing seriously for reenactment of the assault weapons ban. He's not going to do it.
No, I think Chris, he's hedging. And I think he's hedging his bets because he realizes that he has much bigger fights with immigration reform and national security issues. The problem, though, by not addressing it is that you have currently 12,000 arms sellers on the border between Mexico and the United States. That's 12,000. And yes, we have laws, but we haven't enforced them in several years. And you have 10,000 deaths in the last 3 years, all related to drug trafficking in Mexico.
Well, he did say, Roger, that we have a lot of laws we could enforce. It may be illegal to own an assault rifle in this country, but it's not legal to ship one across the border.
Right, but clearly the Democrats and the president are still snake-bit on the subject of guns.
The NRA.
The NRA, you remember he famously said small-town Americans cling to their guns. He's worried about that. They look at the 2000 election, they see Al Gore losing 3 critical states and the presidency because of the
Tennessee,
gun vote.
Ohio, and West Virginia?
Tennessee, Arkansas and West Virginia. Okay. If he had won any of those 3, he wouldn't have needed Florida. He could have won all 3, and the gun vote was powerful in all 3. And it will have probably a greater effect on the U.S. than it will on Mexico. It is a minor inconvenience, or at least an inconvenience for the cartels not to buy the guns on the border. It's like, going to Costco instead of driving downtown. You can buy guns on the world market. It's almost as easy to buy guns as it is to buy drugs.
But if 90% are bought across the border on this side, doesn't that tell you that we are an easy access for them?
Absolutely, and we can make it more difficult, but that isn't going to end the drug wars in Mexico. It'll make it slightly more expensive for them to get guns.
Okay, let's talk about the other big turkey question. I mean, I call it turkey because there's like no way we can see it changing in our lifetime. People in this country like drugs. Some people like crack cocaine, some like the powder. I don't. We may not here, but there's a market in this country for people who can get it, and they get it, and they don't go to jail for it. Most people get away with using it.
Look, and I think you hit the nail on the head, Chris. For a long time, Colombia was the one that was applying the majority of the drugs. Plan Colombia came around, and all of a sudden, Mexico. We're trying to catch a rabbit until we actually look and address the issues internally, which, as a president, he's the very first one to say,
we're a free country. You can only go so far in outlawing behavior, whether it's abortion or anything else. I mean, you can say something's outlawed. You can make all the laws you want. But in this case, you can't stop people from using cocaine, can you? Or marijuana. It doesn't work. As long as you have private homes, private places, people are going to find ways to use it.
But I think it's addressing the issue of you buy cocaine, you're killing somebody. Not just yourself, but you're inciting violence.
You think that's going to work with an addict, what you just said?
I think, it'll pause, if anything, but you're right, it's not going to.
How long?
Has there been any greater failure of American policy than the war on drugs? I mean, how long have you been talking
That's why I hate blaming
about
things
a
that
war
will
on
never
drugs
go
in
away.
this country?
If we say Mexico will never get its act together until we stop buying drugs, Mexico will never get its act together until we stop selling guns. They'll never get their act together.
They'll go to another country.
Okay, thank you, Maria Teresa Peterson. We'll see you soon. And Roger Simon.